How's it going, Joe?
Doing pretty good, Derek. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
How come you're tired?
Because I got up early and got on a plane in Toronto to come back to here today.
Oh.
This is where I belong, but I don't belong in Toronto. You lived there for a while, though.
I did. I lived in Toronto for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You helped me buy a JCM 800, which to just tie everything together. You picked it up for me.
That's right.
And then I got it from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sold it to Dorian, who does our camera work.
Nice.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
And now I don't know if Dorian sold it or not. Yeah, he did.
Long time. Yeah.
Yep. So now somebody else is part of the circle of gear life.
There you
Welcome. Go. So that's what we're going to kind of do is talk about cool gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still in the process of naming whatever this is.
Yeah.
We're workshopping some ideas.
Yeah.
But maybe we can phone a friend or ask the internet.
Yes.
The working titles are show me yours, I'll show you mine. But that one is not going over well with focus groups.
No.
Another one is Derek and Joey's Gear Rochambeau.
Yeah, that's
my favorite.
That's a front runner.
Little South Park reference.
Yes.
And we're going to work some kind of competition in, and whoever wins gets to...
I think we could give them one of the pieces of gear that we end up showing off. I think it would be cool.
I was going to say, I'll get to Rochambeau you, or you get to Rochambeau me.
I would rather give a piece of gear than get kicked in the nuts. So,
well,
so
you gave it away. It was supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, but so I don't know if anybody's got some good ideas, but right now,
yeah.
The working title is Show and Tell.
Yeah, and like I called you, I don't know, maybe like a month ago to talk to you about doing this because when we get together, most of the time, we end up just nerding out about like some cool new thing that you got or some cool new thing that I got, and we've traded gear back and forth for years. Like I have either had your King of Tone pedal for 2 or 3 years at a time, maybe, or your Nordvang pedal, which I reluctantly gave back this morning. But I would love to, yeah.
You can borrow it back anytime, buddy.
I know. I need to buy my own. That's such a good pedal.
Why buy your own when you can use mine?
Why not sell me yours?
Oh, I like mine too much. And, and it says Joey on the back.
That is true,
yeah.
Which you didn't know.
I did know, but I had forgotten, which anyway.
Yes.
All that to say.
It is special.
It is a special pedal. Yeah, Henrik Nordvang. We're not talking about his pedals today, but we probably will at one point.
We absolutely will, because that 83 drive is honestly the best like Klon Bluesbreaker type like combo pedal that I've ever played. It
is stunning. Everything he makes is really, really great.
I have the dual Klon one, and I didn't realize that's what it was. I got it I bought, every now and then I buy a bunch of pedals from Sean. Yeah. And it was in one of the like, Sean sending me, hey, I got a box of a bunch of old stuff that I'm not using anymore. You want to buy it? And every time he does that, I'm like, yep, I want to buy it. Because I have this problem where like, I like to buy things, and I am fortunate, and it's not lost on me that I'm fortunate that I work on this side of the industry, that it is more affordable when you're on the like gear manufacturing side than it is for the people who are just out buying things at retail. Because a lot of the time it's somebody trades you something. Like I got this lovely Schecter Nick Johnson PT guitar because Schecter wanted a couple of amps from us. And I was like, oh, well, we could build you some amps and you could build me that guitar and that'd be great. So, before all the haters get mad of we can't all buy like endless amounts of everything. Yes. But I collect things often based off of just somebody saying like, hey, I've got a bunch of stuff. Do you want to buy it? And I'm always like, well, it'd be worthwhile because I can always flip it later if I want. Like if I don't like whatever it is or if I just don't find a use for it. And then also another part of me just loves like if something looks cool or like not even audibly sounds cool, just if what it's supposed to be, if the description of it sounds interesting, I'll often buy stuff. Like I bought this pedal in Toronto on the weekend called the Thneed. And I was like, my kids were just watching the Lorax and I'm like, it's got like the graphics from Dr. Seuss and it's from super cool pedals out of Toronto. And the store that I tried it in, like, no offense, I won't name the store because of this, but the amps that they had set up for me to try it in were arguably the worst possible setup you could imagine for trying a pedal. And I was like, okay, hopefully this doesn't sound absolutely terrible. And the first amp, it did sound absolutely horrible. The second amp, though, I was like, okay, I can tell what it does. But more importantly, it looks really cool. It's a Klon style pedal. I want to take it home, try it with my own rig. And then my wife was with me, and as soon as she saw it, she's like, you should buy that. And I'm like, yeah, that's always the best when your significant other is like, you should get that. And I'm like, yes.
I bought a $4,000 Les Paul when I was like 22 because my girlfriend was like, I normally can't tell the difference, but that guitar sounds really good. And I was like, I'll take it.
Nice.
Yeah. So you kind of are describing like the bulk barn approach.
Yeah. And like I do this thing on like a separate channel that is run by me / Revv, or I shouldn't say channel. It's more of like an Instagram page. I don't know what you call it. I don't do Instagram.
You can say you're an Instagram influencer.
Not that.
We're going to see you in like a thong bikini in like I don't know, Puerto Vallarta one day, just being like, chapter 3.
No, I started doing this thing like a year ago where like whenever I travel, I just naturally I want to do two things. I want to find where a really great local spot to eat is, not really chains, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to find a guitar store.
Right.
And I don't care how like cool the guitar store is. Like it doesn't matter if it's like the caliber of like Peach Guitars, which is like the like mecca of a guitar store in my opinion, or like Chicago Music in the States. Or if it's like some shitty little dump that's like a pawn shop, don't care, want to go to all of them and just see if there's anything cool. Because every now and then you find really cool stuff. Like I was in Nashville and I bought, you ever play Timmy pedals?
I think I've played pedals that are Timmy adjacent.
Okay.
But I've never actually had a real one.
So I went to this new shop that opened in Nashville called Tone Shop or Tone Central Station. And I took Rob Baker with me and I saw a real Timmy for $90, which normally they're like $300 to $400 depending on which model.
Whoa.
And I was like, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
And you find cool stuff like that if you go to guitar stores. So that's what I end up doing. So I was just out in Toronto and Montreal over the weekend. And yeah, I just went to a whole shitload of guitar stores. And my favorite thing is when I see something that graphically looks cool, I have no idea what it is, and I've never heard of the company. And that's the pedal that I brought to show you today. Because it's kind of a little bit of show and tell today that I knew you had never heard of these pedals or seen it.
Yeah.
And I bought this pedal from GB Music and Sound in Red Deer, Alberta.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah, great pedal shop. If you're looking for cool gear, check out their website. I'm sure, I don't know if they do reverb or if they just do online, but like lots of very cool pedals.
Lots of very cool stuff, yeah.
Stuff that you don't see very often in Canada. But didn't know anything about it, but it was called the London Fog Tape Delay. And I love every type of effect except for fuzz pedals are the only ones that I hate, which it's great that you're here for that. And it's only because I don't know how to play them. So hopefully through this, I'll learn how to play a fuzz pedal a little bit better too, so that I can have another new obsession.
Teach a man to fish.
Yes. He'll waste all his money on fuzz pedals.
Yeah.
So I saw this pedal, and I'm not a coffee drinker. I only drink London Fog, like Earl Grey tea lattes. That's my mainstay, like hot beverage that I have every day. So as soon as I saw that there was a London Fog pedal, I'm like, I'm going to buy that just because it says London Fog on it. And I've done that several times. Do you ever buy anything without trying it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, almost exclusively.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm the opposite of you. When I go on the road, the last thing I want to do is go to a guitar store.
Well, you would probably get people who will come talk to you all the time at guitar stores.
Yeah, not really. Like sometimes, but you know, because when I'm on the road, we're touring and all we're doing is playing guitars.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of times, you know, builders or friends or whatever will come out to shows. So and always inevitably you wind up doing Guitar-y press or something, going on a guitar show or something. I find I get exhausted a little bit, and I'll go, like, every now and then I'll have the appetite and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go to a guitar shop, or there's a guitar shop in this town that I've always wanted to see. And then I walk in and I'm just like, oh man, it's just full of guitar stuff. and then so you know, especially now I have I mean, you have little kids too, but I have two little kids. When I'm on the road, that's like catching up on sleep.
Oh yeah.
If I have time to go to a guitar store, I'm in my hotel room sleeping
Right.
instead. So I don't have the opportunity, or I don't take the opportunity often to go out and try stuff.
Right.
So I'm buying stuff sight unseen a lot. I bought that Chariotone or Seriatone. They made a clone, their clone, the Centura. They made one with, like, instead of the horsey, it was like a drawing of Bernie Sanders, like that, and they called it the 1% art. And I was like, I already have one of these pedals, but I need this one because I think it's so funny.
That actual version you lent to me when we did the like Klon shootout thing on like the Revv Gear and Beer live streams, and it's actually one of the best ones because I messaged you right after and I was like, "Do you want to sell this?" And you were like, "No."
Yeah, I'll sell you the other one that I have, but I have two.
Oh, I'll buy the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, done.
Yes,
$50, right? So, anyway, so I found this pedal at GB Sound, and it's called the London Fog. And what ended up being a little bit cooler about it is I know that probably most of the people who will watch this, if anybody watches it, will not be Canadian, but coffee shop pedals are from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Love that. One of my favorite Canadian cities.
Yes.
Yep.
Lovely people there. Temple Audio Boards is from there. Dingwall Basses are from there. Sheldon Dingwall, Salt of the Earth guy.
Yeah.
Cass and Ryan a bunch of the guys at Temple Audio, like great people. So, so I immediately...
Sorry, one of my favorite Canadian bands ever, Widemouth Mason.
Yes.
From Saskatoon. Sean Verreau, shout out to him.
Yes.
He was a hero of mine, and we've become friends, and every time I get a text message from him, I'm just like, I can't believe Sean Verreau's texting me.
I have similar stories of that, of like meeting your guitar heroes, and then I have one in particular that is now like a close friend, and every time I get a text, I'm like, I can't believe this guy texts me.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Just in case you can hear the hammering in the background, we share a wall with a industrial butcher, and so they're taking apart large animals right now. So
yes, it sounds like an elephant right now, but I don't think we have those here, so it's probably a bison.
Yeah,
probably.
Which is widely known as the Canadian elephant.
Yeah,
everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Even a child knows that.
Perfect.
So let's hear this thing.
So it's tape delay, and it does a lot of stuff, which I have, in all honesty, I have not had enough time to actually dive into what it all does.
But it's obviously digital.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with like analog controls.
Okay.
But it sounds really nice. I mean, is it digital or is it analog with?
Yeah, like analog with filters. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably. Oh, this is cool. Playback direction.
Oh yeah, you can have it be a reverse.
Oh yeah, it's got to be digital.
So there's all of this stuff that it does. There's programs like there's a new tape, there's an old tape, vintage.
Cool.
And one thing that, like, when you talk about delay pedals and digital delays, like, I'm really bad at, like, learning digital interfaces. Like, I have all of the Strymon stuff, and I have the H90. And there is our lovely neighbors with the...
Yeah, so if anybody doesn't know this, we actually share a wall with an industrial crime scene cleaners.
Yes.
And they're working on a carpet right now.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yes, exactly. At least 46 people were murdered, and they're trying to clean it up.
Oh, it's a tiny carpet, but lots of people were killed on it.
Yeah, they stacked them high.
Yeah.
So the London Fog tape delay, coffee shop pedals. Yeah, I love when you have knobs that you can turn, and
I've heard that about you.
And that's just how you figure out your sounds. Like, my favorite delay pedal to use most of the time is honestly just an MXR carbon copy.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy for me to get whatever I want, and that's why, like, I've never gravitated towards like the Helix or the Axe Effects or any of that. Like, even the H90 I have, and sounds amazing. I will just use a preset, make a slight tweak, save it, and then that's what I use.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I like getting in, like,
to the nitty gritty.
Well, I like to think about all this stuff, but I think as a player, when everything washes away, I actually I prefer a much simpler setup, but I just like I like the tinkeriness of all that stuff.
Right.
And I'm the kind of guy, like, by the time I'm finished, I have the whole like MIDI implementation chart memorized, and I could dial my way through the menus with my eyes closed. But at the end of the day, I wind up with, like a delay pedal, I go for 3 sounds, like a long quarter note delay, a dotted eighth, and a slap.
Yep.
No matter what I'm using, that's what I dial in.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, this is really cool. Stereo. Why don't you play a bit and I'll just like mess around.
Ooh, some nice modulation.
I don't know what that says. I can't read it. Some kind of noise on the dual.
Yeah, I can hear that a bit. I should put my other ear in so I can.
Oh, that's cool. So I guess that'll, like, the playback speed, if I understand that correctly, will give you like different levels of fidelity. Like if it's slow, maybe it'll be glitchy sounding. Oh yeah. And then. Oh, you kind of have a minimum. That's cool. Yeah. And you can do that with it.
Yeah. It does all sorts of weird stuff that I will never use. But I like the fact that I was able to dial in just a really good delay. That I like it when delays have a little bit of warmth and they're not too stiff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found that with this, like the modulation side of it too, not something that I would use a whole lot, but still fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Coffee shop pedals, like I said, Saskatoon based. They've only got 4 pedals that exist.
Would you need more?
Yes.
Just one more.
Yeah.
Always one more.
Just all of them. Yeah. Like, I always call pedals guitar player candy, because that's what they are to me. It's like this fun little thing that I want to try every one of them. And some of them I'm like, yeah, that's not the best. And then the other ones I'm like, I want this every time I plug in my guitar. I want that sound.
Yeah.
So this is something that, like, I don't know if it'll end up on my board. Probably not, just because I have like things like the Eventide.
Yeah.
But
it's great for like a smaller board, especially if you want to be running a stereo rig.
Man, and like when we test stuff out a lot of the time, like people bring amps by for us to check out, because I'm also like, I'm just a gear nerd, period. So like anything you bring by that sounds remotely cool, I want to try. Mm-hmm. So I like not having to plug in a full pedal board, but I still will want to have a delay pedal, and an overdrive pedal, like a few things that I can, easily plug in. And this would be something that I would grab immediately for that. Or I don't do a lot of this because I don't really write music anymore. I've started to do more of like writing with like with Dorian and Manny when we're doing some like when we're figuring out like launch content for a new product. We'll kind of all sit down, like when we did the D40, Manny wrote like a nice little like, what was an E, right? No. Yep. Yeah. Like just a nice little riff like that, right? So what I find is like having cool pedals that are different than what's on my board will often give you some inspiration to write something a little bit different. And, I don't write songs like you do, but now I sit down and try to write like riffs that I think suit the piece of gear that we're trying to demonstrate. So, so this is something I would probably use primarily for like sitting down and trying to find something that is a little more inspiring, because I'm a terrible creature of habit that whatever's on my board, I have my 3 or 4 presets that I would use. So I'm not going to venture outside of that very often.
Yeah.
Where with this, it would kind of pull you outside of that just naturally, because it does something different. Mm-hmm. I like that.
It's very cool. And a small footprint. And it's Canadian. And it looks cool.
Yeah. So they only have a few dealers. So you'd have to just go to their website, which maybe is coffeeshoppedals.com. I don't know. I talked to Benno, the dude that owns the company, and he only started in 2021. And like I said, he's only got 4 pedals that are out. So he doesn't build a whole lot of stuff. Like I think he said he was building, I might mess these numbers up, but I think he was only building like 10 or 15 pedals per month. Like it's really small, like a one-man operation thing. So that's cool. I love supporting people like that when I hear about them. Like I love hearing any story of anybody who's building something that is like, that's remotely cool. Even some stuff that when I sit down and try it, I'm like, that's not my thing. But there's actually lots of times that I've sat down and tried things where I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I would never use this, but I have immediately thought of you and been like, Joey would use this though. Because if it's anything that has anything to do with fuzz, I'd be like, okay, I don't know how to use this, but I'm like, but I bet you Joe will like this.
I brought some fuzz pedals for future episodes.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm interested in figuring out, because like with fuzz pedals, I gravitate towards like one style of riff, and that's all I ever do with it. So I do just need to learn better, how to mess with it. So
we'll do the deep dive. But for now, this has been the London Fog tape delay by Coffee Shop Pedals.
Yeah.
Brought to you by a couple of idiots.
Yeah.
Us.
And none of this show or anything that we do, if you call it a show, none of this hang is sponsored by anybody. All of the stuff that we're going to mess with are things that we have actually either traded for or have acquired through some means.
Stuff in our personal collection.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could say like this, like, some of the guitars and stuff, like we'll trade with people that we're friends with. But the whole point is to show you guys the cool stuff that we actually have in our collections, or that we find along the way and we add to our collections that, especially stuff that I feel, at least for me, that I feel doesn't get airtime anywhere else, because the companies are so small that they're not going to be able to afford to go blast YouTube with a bunch of influencers and that. So so you guys can get kind of a different look. Do you want to try playing it?
Sure.
Here, how about I'll just trade you cables?
Sounds good.
You will know how to dial it better than I will. We would love it if eventually that Bubbly would sponsor actually more Joey. Joey just wants cases of Bubbly at every show he ever has on tour.
Yeah, is that so much to ask? I also have a bit of an idea for my own flavor, so Bubbly.
Yeah.
Call me. Here we go. I always need to know how well something can... Oh. What does that sound like, Owner? I have no idea what it's doing, but I love it.
Yeah. It sounds like it, like kind of like what a fuzz like just clips the hell right out and like just starts falling apart.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very cool. Okay, what is that? Control.
So you can have new as modulation, old as wow and flutter.
Oh,
and tape saturation.
This is how much.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. What does it do in the...
Which mode?
I don't know. I can't see from here.
That's the vintage mode. So that's modulation, and it says wow with depth.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it does a lot. Like it's... And I believe it's all MIDI controllable too. I just said that and it's not, and I'm gonna hear from him later that like he told everybody it's MIDI controllable.
Looks like it's not, unless there's a MIDI on the top.
There's MIDI.
MIDI input.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
It does all of the things.
That's awesome.
But I like the fact that none of the sounds.
Whoa, listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in case you need something that does that.
Yeah, that'll hold it forever.
No, it bends it. Looks like you also have tap divisions, and then you can save presets too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sick. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That is a wild sound.
It's a very, very cool pedal. So that's why I was like, okay, of the little like show and tell things I have, this is going to be one of the first things I wanted to show you.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Check out Coffee Shop Pedals, and you can follow us on wherever we end up posting this if you want. We'll do more of this dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
See you next time.